The 2019 season of the Australian Ultimate League would not be possible without the support of our league partners. Today's match is brought to you by the following team sponsors.
What do you think will be your main challenge in this next game against Adelaide?
Yeah, so with Adelaide, I think our biggest challenges are they have a lot of good two-way players. So players that we can't necessarily put into a box and stop them one way. That'll be really tough, especially if they gel well together. We know they've got some really good deep cutters and throwers that can actually put it to them. So if they gel, it'll be a force to be reckoned with, but we've got a few things in mind that we can throw to try to stop that.
Nice. And what's the main thing you're looking for from your team during this game?
Yeah, sure. So from our team, really excited to just get another game under the belt, just have the team play together. We've got players that have played together in the past and also players that haven't. So we're really interested to see the, dynamic and the synergy come together, and that's what I'm most excited about.
All right, great, thank you. Good luck in your next game.
Awesome, thank you.
You coached Melbourne last year and you're about to play them in a big game now. Yeah. What are you going to do to shut down their best players, especially people like Kat Phillips?
Yeah, I think it's always tricky when a team has, I think across the board they have excellent players. Kat's specialty is that she can be a target and an impact anywhere on the field. So I think you almost have to choose what will let her do and try and shut down the other stuff as much as possible. Yeah, it's always tricky, but across the board they have excellent depth.
Coming in to coach a new team that didn't win any games last year from a team that won the entire thing, what have you brought to Adelaide?
I think the interesting thing about Adelaide is that I believe that a team that has no pressure is a very dangerous team. So I think John and I are pushing that, is that we have nothing to lose, you are free to go for it. So I think that's a really powerful messaging for athletes, and playing in freedom is such a powerful move that we'll be pushing that for sure.
And what is one thing you want to tell your team before this big game?
I think it's very much keep the intensity, prepare like we know we have to. I think preparation before a game is absolutely crucial, and how you mentally and physically warm up is key to your very early performance. The sets that they're playing with, the 20-minute sets, I think is really interesting, and it provides a real moment in time to set, reset. So yeah, we'll be using that to our full advantage.
Great, thank you.
Here we are, Claire Hussey, Joy Lee, bringing you the Adelaide Dragons versus Melbourne Flames game at the AUL. We're coming from the Ron Barassi Oval in the Docklands, Melbourne, the original lands of the Birrarung and the Wurundjeri people who call the nation.
First pull of the match here, Adelaide Dragons pulling right to left. Melbourne Flames, Kat Phillips gets going, Seb Barr. Nice vertical stack. Trenworth, back to Barr.
Dignam gets blocked by Dunmore. Hand block on Dignam.
Oh, straight back. Just a miss throw there. And Seb Barr picking up straight away, no time wasted. With these 20-minute sets, we really don't have time. And Phillips stretches herself, lays out. Bit of a fluffy throw, but Wise reeled it in, but then immediately put it down. A few turns already, first point of the set. Della, and pumps it long.
Great take. By number 41.
First point of this match, Adelaide Dragons, and as both teams settle in, the wind conditions not too bad here, and rain has also stayed away.
Okay, number 41 is Lachlan Robertson. Just got some number fixing up to do on our player sheets here. Great start for the Dragons. Della's coming up for the pull. That's the first break for the Dragons. Andrews receives the pull, finds Barr. They've got 3 men handling, 3 women upfield. Cat Phillips gets it on the close sideline, carefully lines it up.
Mangan there was wide open, swings it across to Barr. Barr, of course, is going to be a central part of this controlling Melbourne offence. Across to Phillips and then to Barr, and it's 1-1. It's great, of course, not to let scores, expand too much in the opposition's favour when you've got a 20-minute set, and who wins the set is just key in this type of composition.
Yeah, championship points up for grab in every set, for winning every set. Both teams off to a reasonably good start here. Adelaide Dragons have got a bunch of players who didn't play last season. 6 players who didn't play: Michael Kelly, Amanda Fong, Lachlan Robertson, Di Warman, Sarah Lee, and Aaron Neal.
So the challenge, of course, is to see how well a new team with each new season integrates and the connections formed. As that pool sails, I think, just out. So Spragg elects to take the disc to the brick mark. Right-hander. Kim Spragg played with the Canberra Freeze last season. She's a very versatile player, handler and a utility, good all round the field on offence and defence.
Look at this handler setup. We've got Kim Spragg, Sean Davis and Di Warman. That's going to give you confidence on your team behind the disc. They're swinging back and forth. Aaron Neal looking to get it back on the dump from Warman. Upfield, a bit of battling going on. Davis finds the disc on the close sideline. Still haven't really moved it upfield, but they've still managed to progress somewhat. Di Warman reaching to get that popped out. Spragg.
Oh! What a goal! Michael Kelly there, full stretch. It was a bullet of a pass from Spragg, but it was pinpoint. And Kelly nabs that one for the Adelaide Dragons.
Yeah, what a lovely point. I like the way they just used the swings to gain ground. Slightly forward swings, a couple of dumps, and then bang bang, one forward penetrating pass, and it's a goal.
All smiles there from number 7, Michael Kelly. Great grab. And scores are now 2-1. Dragons are up. Still the early part of this set, but gosh, 20-minute sets. You know, the time goes really quick.
Yeah, we've only got 15 left right now as it is. Dragons have that break. Got a bit of a wind coming into my right cheek as we face the field. So the Flames have got it behind their backs, and will need to control their throws in that direction, right to left, so that they don't ping out at the end of this shorter field. But Barr finds Cat Phillips. Trying to make an undercut.
Wow,
Big
and
bid.
Salayu there had bid, and I'm not sure if you got a hands on this, but did enough and forced that turnover. Salayu, of course, quite renowned for her athleticism on D. Very happy to lay out. Gets the turn there for her team. Sarah Lee with the disc, looks around. High stall count now, but Seb Barr doing a great job. And there we go, straight back into the hands of Trenwith. Trenwith getting busy there. The Flames, they've transitioned really well, you know, picked up the disc so quickly, but got themselves into a structure, and we've got a pick.
Mangan's the deepest player for the Flames right now. Andrews might want to just pop it straight over the top. Opts for the safer option, ran the back to Barr. Trenwith. Just doesn't quite read the movement.
Yeah, I was looking for DeBell, who went down the line there, but just missed him, maybe threw a little behind him. Slap down.
Della sticks it up.
We've got Robertson, he was the one, Lachlan Robertson slapped it down on defence, went long immediately. All the players behind him here, and quite a long dump back to McDonald.
It's a pick. I think called by Cat Phillips. She's just going to catch up to Dunmore. Dunmore swings to McDonald. McDonald's got Lee behind. He goes for over the top. Finds Della at the back of the zone. Happy days for the Dragons.
Yeah, there was a bit of a height mismatch in the end there. Della v Trenwith. Della's probably got a foot or something on Trenwith, and McDonald popping that over the top.
Dragons getting off to a strong first section of the first set. Flames have got to find a way to get into this set now, otherwise we'll be reaching the halfway point, which is a pretty difficult place to get back from. Flames obviously the 2018 champions, being tested here by the Dragons, who didn't get many wins on the board last season.
As opposed to the Dragons, who have 6 players on their roster who didn't play last season, the Melbourne Flames have 4, and quite a few
returns.
Yeah, and quite a few people who live in Melbourne, so they've got that advantage of being able to meet up more regularly and form those connections.
Maybe they'll start to display those connections soon. So at the moment, it's a bit misfiring. There was an offside called from that pull, so the Flames are taking the disc up to the brick mark. Barr sticks it up. Dunmore's underneath. Has a bunch of defenders around who get their hands early to the disc, and it's a turnover. Davis finds McDonald, crouches low, surveying his options, goes inside for a dunk, and it's over the top, and it's a goal. Sean Davis scores the goal, making it 4-1.
Wow, Adelaide Dragons are looking smooth at the moment. Whatever they're doing is on offense is working. You know, they're patient and they're hitting those deep looks whenever they get open, which is happening with some regularity at the moment.
Yeah, Dragons! Woo! Keep it rolling!
Flames coaches Anna Ragaki. Sorry, Anna Ragaki is a Dragons coach, doing all the right things. Flames coach is Greta Murdoch-Chukli. I need to come up with a strategic defensive adjustment to stop these quick goals from the Dragons.
Della here is going to be pulling left to right. He's right into the teeth of this wind. It's not too strong, but it is quite icy.
Andrews opens out to Phillips, up the line to Bell. Ding dong, there's the bell, finds Michaela Dignam. Flames take a goal.
Yeah, that was really effective there, really efficient as well. We saw that opening up, quick movement, disc across the field, and lots of separation in those last couple of passes. Oh, I think we see the signal for a pick, but perhaps didn't affect the particular play going in to the end zone for the goal.
So with 9 minutes left, we've still got a game in our hands, set on our hands, let's say. It's 4-2 to the Dragons. Points are very quick in the AUL with, well, between points is quick. 45 seconds and not many decisions to be made about who's going on. 1 minute between points.
Okay, we've got Neil here picking up. Adelaide just cutting forward from a kind of vertical stack or short clump thing. Warman presents, marked by Mangan. Warman's looking and decides to calmly dump back to Neil. Very dynamic offence here with Adelaide. Lots of players moving and lots of players getting open. Instead of being kind of, oh, Warman unleashes. She's looking for Neil, is it?
Kelly
Kelly
gets!
in the end zone, and he proves to be a good target, but did he keep it in?
I think it was out the back. Great get, but too deep.
A hug in the reeds, but was it in?
A discussion from the Reeds now.
Looks like it was out the back, but yeah, good look by Warman then. Kelly obviously has got a bit of pace on him. Great target.
Yeah, and Mangan is a very strong defender. He's working really hard on Warman, but Warman wasn't really fazed by that and got the disc every other pass in that passage of play. Let's see if Flames can do something with this turnover. Phillips sticks it straight away.
Andrew C there is gone. Oh my word! So he's got a hand on that disc, but while he was up there, his opponent got beneath him, caused a bit of contact.
Robertson getting in there.
I thought I was running the line, and I had no option. Like something you jumped, and I couldn't get out the way. Like jump forward, but
Okay.
I think that you had dropped it by the time the contact was made, but I don't think the contact had anything to do with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I share with you my perspective?
Yeah, sure.
So I got up. Right, it was incidental contact. I'm clear about that.
Yeah.
But I feel that you took my legs off, and that affected my ability to catch this, and I hold hand on this.
Yeah, so I feel it can't be incidental if you feel that affected you. That's not. That
Because
has to
we
be
were both going the same way.
So it's, I couldn't tell specifically who was moving where from where I was. So if we can resolve it, I think it sounds like it's contested.
Yeah, I felt like he almost jumped on top of my head.
Okay, sounds like it's contested. Let's send it back. Where you were when the disc was thrown.
So yeah, we've heard the discussion there from players and from the game advisor. Bit of discussion going on, but at the end of the day, back to the thrower. Flames here they employed a more horizontal stack, spread across the field, and now everyone's a lot deeper than they were when that throw was released, or when they set up initially rather. Phillips swings across to Wise. Andrew's working hard but just can't get open. Dignam back to Wise. Hucks it into the wind, disc sits up. Can C get his hands on it again? And C does well, but can't hang on to it.
Now Warman moves the disc to Davis. Neil has gone deep after a jink underneath. It's gone behind his head and
Oh, great D there from Lockie Wise. Well, the disc was right over his head. They're so hard to get your hand on those ones, but he kept his head and he just reached at that long arm right at the last minute. Breaks the force now. Oh! And Phillips evades the diving Davis. Sends a lovely disc to Dignam. We've got Magnan here. Yep, and a goal to the Flames. That was a great passage of play from the Flames.
Fast end-to-end action. And yeah, Kat Phillips did very well to avoid being completely destroyed when she caught that up the line. Nice, careful up the line throw right onto Dignam's path.
Now 4 minutes.
We've got 4 minutes remaining in this first set, and it's really tight. Adelaide Dragons have 4 points, and the Flames are at 3. Yeah, it looks like they're finding a way, Huss, to make their structures work a bit better for them compared with earlier in this set.
Yeah, bit of a flustered start, but they're settling into the set. Unlike a normal length game, they can't be thinking of later in the game, because a set is only 20 minutes long, so they've got to keep their nose close to their opposition.
Yep. We've got Warman here. It's still match D, which we've seen pretty much for the whole time this set. And a huck long. Michael Kelly there, trying to box his player. Oh, but DeBell's done so well. 2 quite evenly matched plays, height-wise and speed-wise. Melbourne get going straight away. Phillips to Trenwith. Trenwith doing her trademark good work through the middle. Solid lateral throw, DeBell. Lots of Melbourne players quite deep. DeBell says, come under, come under. It's perhaps a pick call somewhere along the line. Melbourne players still really spread out. Now they're coming back in to recondense and use that space.
Phillips to DeBell. DeBell regularly bringing the disc back to the centre, giving more options on the field to throw to.
And Yuri bids.
Disc is up from Chris Stoddard. Dhaliwal reads beautifully. Comfortably takes the goal.
Stoddard to Dhaliwal.
Evened up the scores for all.
Beautifully shaped throw there from Chris Stoddard. He hails from Newcastle, and he's really fitting in so well into this Melbourne team. He's an experienced mixed ultimate player, of course, playing with Pie Wagon up there, long-standing mixed team, and has been very successful.
And yeah, the Flames have timed this quite well. They've timed their little comeback. So we're tied at 4-4, and we've got less than 2 minutes left now, which means this will be the last point, unless it's miraculously fast.
Yeah, we've seen Yu's defensive bids are so impressive, aren't they? Even when she doesn't get her hands on the disc, she's affected 1 or maybe 2 turnovers so far. And even when the turnover doesn't occur, like that time with Phillips ending up with the disc, it builds the impression of defensive pressure.
Definitely, it'll put question marks into the throwers' heads if she's marking any receivers. Big deep pull from the Flames, really nicely done. Dragons working it back and forth calmly at the moment.
Neal to Della to Robertson. Haven't made much ground, but they've still got possession, which is the main thing here. We've got less than a minute to go, half a minute.
Neal rips one deep, finds Robertson, they take the goal!
And a perfectly weighted throw there from Aaron Neal.
And that was not the end of the game because the time is still running.
Robertson was marked by 2 players, but you can see the length of that throw. It was just such a perfect throw. Robertson did not even have to break stride.
So with the Dragons now 5-4 up. Time has just gone. This point needs to be finished, and so the Flames get this one, play another. Otherwise, Dragons take the set by 2.
I guess now it's the unique time in the set pass where there's actually no time considerations. Both teams have now just got to win this point, and it matters about who scores it rather than the time remaining. Of course, when one team is up by 2 or more points in a set, when the hooter goes, that's it. Set ends. Okay, Phillips with the disc here.
Can't find Dhaliwal. Chooses Dingdom. Good grab. Disc was close to Dunmore. Finds Dhaliwal up the line, but it's a bit of a cold drop there. Dragons back on the attack. Big call.
Dunmore's gone deep already, but with that pick call, she's going to have to come back to the back of the stack. Teams in this first set have really used the deep space really well, as it's ripped long, and Sally Yu there is camped under the disc a lot of time. Who's going to end up with it? And Della.
What a grab.
Yes. Adelaide Dragons, well done. They take this set by 2 goals, and that was a really strong first set by the Adelaide Dragons. Done so well. That disc just sat up there for what seemed like an eternity. Della, you can't teach tall, but he definitely read that really well as well.
He's been studying those discs. Great first set, and we'll see you shortly for set number 2.
maybe Neil got his arms to that and just clonked it down. The Dragons really denying the Flames at the moment. Warman to Davis, who says, thanks very much.
Sprague lays it off to Davis again. Mandy Fong in the end zone again. She's maybe gone a bit early, needs to bring herself in, shorten that stack, allow for space again. When that huck went up, it was, I think, aimed at Michaela Dignam, who had screamed at the top of her lungs, announcing her openness.
Communication is key.
It was a good scream, but yeah, Neil was onto it.
Okay, now Warman marked up the line. Neil tries the same move, and he's going to have to exert here. Neil does reel it in. Every Adelaide Dragons player was within 10 metres of him, but now, who's gone deep? It's Davis, and Davis is, wow, marked by Andrews. Davis shows his pace. As I was just garbling to you there, we had all the Adelaide Dragons players maybe within 15 metres of the thrower, but they did manage to sort it out. Davis clearly scuttling along to the end zone, and yeah, goal to the other Dragons. Is this first point of the set? Wow. And that took about 7 minutes. Well done, the Dragons. Got the job done.
It only takes 7 minutes to open the set.
As first set, Dragons 6-4. So I don't think we're going to get to that kind of scoreline, Huss, in the second set. But still, irrespective of how many goals are scored, the same number of championship points are up for grabs. And if the Dragons get this set as well, they'll have at least 3 from this matchup.
Yeah, every set counts if you want championship points. Barr moves the disc out to DeBell. He had Wise and Dignam, chose Dignam.
Oh,
now Dignam stuck it up to Wise, who didn't see it coming, and it's cleaned up by Della, who throws an interestingly high to low over the top.
Della tried, and Sarah Lee went to ground, but Flames have another chance here. Trenworth working hard. Oh, you, of course, bids. Trenworth, no mark, with you on the ground, and puts it to Wise.
Great take,
great option, and yeah, gutsy by Trenworth there. Her mark you was on the ground after the defensive bid, so thought, hey, I'm just going to wind up for this. And Wise there wasn't huge separation, shall we say, but good enough to reel that in, and it's 1-1 for the second set, Dragons v Flames.
Yeah, and even when the Flames...
if it's clean, it was an exceptional defense, and it looks like it was. Well done, McDonald.
Yeah, what pace to run that down against Mangan, who is also incredibly fast. Sarah Lee getting the disc into action for the Flames. Sorry, for the Dragons. Good to see. Got the woman on the disc. Finds Robertson, who launches one. This big backhand. Sally Yu runs, and dives, but does not make contact with the disc while it was still airbound. Unfortunately for her, it was a very, very brave effort.
Yeah, great run from Sally. You kept her eyes on the disc. You could just see her chasing. And of course she was going to lay out. Of course. That disc seemed to really just suddenly drop. I don't think the Adelaide Dragons don't seem to have had really any trouble getting players open in separation. It's really, really impressive. To me, the story of this game has been about the Melbourne Flames trying to work into finding their way, making their structures work. They're actually up in the set at the moment. Here we have Wise. He's looking for Mangan. Mangan is going. And yeah, great grab from Mangan.
Lovely. It was a repeat of the previous effort. McGoll, Wise sticking it deep for Mangan, and this time there were no other defenders around to pluck off that disc. She did a great job parrying that one down.
She's such a weapon, isn't she, Hannah Mangan? Renowned for her defensive abilities and influence, but yeah, as we saw from the last couple of points, using her pace and smarts just to like tear up and into the end zone. It's interesting, we've seen mostly the vast majority of defensive setup has been match defense and one-on-one setups, and I'm just wondering with the 6 aside, like we are playing on a slightly smaller field than usual, but with less people on the field, perhaps zone defenses, you know, you just have to consider them very differently, and maybe they're just not quite as effective in the same ways.
Dragons ready to try and get their nose back into this game. It's 4-2 to the Flames, and we're coming towards the end of the game. Only a couple of minutes left. Sprague stretches it to Warman. They've got a sort of clumping stack upfield.
All the players are on that other side of the field, but they've opened it out here. Mandy Fung. And she's just looked for Aaron Neal to calm things down. Aaron Neal, Sprague presenting. Di Warman has been very deep, and Fung as well, but now, okay, they've come back under and now looking again.
Warman gets the disc, keeps it moving at the back, finds Sprague. Oh, Kelly just jumped to try and receive that casually, but there was a great Andrew C.D.
Yeah, really, like, C just came through like a bolt of lightning there.
Andrew C, Andrew D. And Kat Phillips goes off to get the disc, ready to bring it back in. She's got a tired-looking Andrews as her dump. Maybe it's just taking a moment. She wants him right now. Will he respond? He's gone up the line, not free. Phillips finds a nice inside to Dignam, crossfield, whole width. Dignam goes with a scuba over the top to Andrews. Andrews resets back to Kat Phillips in the centre. Adelaide defence is all very close and tight on their offensive players. Andrew C now slices over the top, was aiming for Dignam, but the goal was stolen straight in front of her face by Chris Stoddard.
I'm sure the Flames won't be too upset about that for obvious reasons. Yeah, they're up in the set by quite a margin now. It's 5-2. So the Flames, I was talking earlier about the Flames finding their way. It seems like they definitely have. They're getting multiple chances against the Adelaide team. Adelaide are turning over a little more, and the Flames, you know, just are not giving it back.
Yeah, the Adelaide Dragons look a little bit more casual, like they're just remembering the glory of the first set and you know, letting Ds like Andrew C's come through. 5-2 now to the Flames, with only a minute left. Looks like they've taken it, so they can enjoy their last point, see if they can get some specky blocks. Dragons just playing for pride in this set now.
Lucky Wise has ripped that crossfield pull again, and Neil to Warman. Adelaide Dragons once again quite deep. If it can't be hit immediately, it's often just not an option. So Warman to Neal, back to Warman. And the swirling offense. Oh, good hands by Sprague there. It wasn't an easy catch. Kelly, Lachlan Wise's mark was right off, and Mandy Fung is very free and reeled in by Mandy Fung. Well done.
Where was Mandy Fung's defender?
We've got some 15 or so seconds left in this set, and the score is 5-3. And it is looking quite likely. We'll see what happens. Type cap is gone, so that's it. You know, end of set. The Flames take it despite some late, very high quality play there. The last goal by the Adelaide Dragons. A set apiece. Stay tuned for the third set.
Third set, everything to play for.
Welcome back. We are about to witness the third set between the Adelaide Dragons and the Melbourne Flames. And this is a particularly exciting point in the match with one set all now, so all to play for. You get, if you win a set, you win one championship point, with the extra championship point coming if you win more sets than the other team.
Yes, if they win 2 sets, they get 3 championship points.
Right.
So there's a big difference there. Difference of 2 points.
Okay, so they're playing for 2 points essentially in this last set.
Yep.
It's been a really interesting match so far. I think Adelaide, for the first, perhaps, 2/5 of this game, Adelaide, I think, were in control, and Melbourne were struggling. But now Melbourne took that last set, 5-3. We've got Adelaide pulling right to left.
Robertson's jacked that one right to the back of the end zone again. Flames getting it out quickly though, didn't have any hang time. DeBell finds Cap Phillips in the middle. Phillips to Dignam. Mangan was off deep but came back under. And now Wise is deep and Phillips has placed it nicely in the far corner. And Wise foolishly celebrates his catch before it was a catch.
Oof. He was
not a good look.
He was really open there, Wise, and a lovely throw from Cat. But as he said, perhaps celebrating definitely prematurely. And here we've got Adelaide, Sarah Lee pops a little backhand out to Dunmore.
Robertson now finding McDonald.
The Adelaide players were clumped, but Della sprang out and ended up being really open. Lovely air on that disc. McDonald to you. And Melbourne are going to be ruining that chance from one end zone to the other, with a few passes in between, of course, but Adelaide did that pretty swiftly, and they have taken the first point here in the third set.
I wonder if there'll be a few looks exchanged between Phillips and Wise.
Well, Wise is coming off, so avoiding eye contact.
Yeah, probably for the best. Jonathan Warren White, the other coach of the Dragons, pepping his team up, giving them some instruction on the line now. He's motioning towards the centre of his body, perhaps encouraging the team to stack more centrally, keep the disc more central.
Or perhaps throw the disc to the middle of the body to be easier to receive.
Although it is the defensive line, I'm thinking maybe he wants to squash the Melbourne Flames defence down the middle. Let's have a look what they're coming out with.
All right, so Robertson with the pull, a high loopy one. Phillips awaiting it.
Dunmore's really sped down the field. She's down for the first throw. Gets onto Phillips.
Melbourne really had a side stack going, but none of those cutters were hit. They've gone through their handlers again.
Lachlan McDonald trying to get a reach on a poachy block. And yeah, looks like there's maybe a middle force going on. Phillips throwing around the lazy mark and brought down by Stoddard. Lovely take by Stoddard.
Yeah, that was a really lovely throw, nicely placed. And Stoddard, what a target in the end zone. You know, like he was open, but he wasn't screamingly open by a vast margin. Really nicely taken.
Yeah, Della was there applying some defensive pressure, but Stoddard came through and took the glory.
Yeah, 1-1. It's I really hope that this last third set is tight all the way.
Yeah. Lockie Wise is back on the field, ready to pull. I doubt he'll repeat the same celebration pre-drop that he did in the last couple of points ago. And we've got a strong-looking offensive line for the Dragons. I like the combination of Spragg, Warman and Fung. They're working nicely together. Spragg, Davis picking up the pull. Straight to Spragg.
And the Adelaide Dragons, without surprise, some of their receivers have gone quite deep, but they've gone for a different combination here of Spragg and Warman, plus Davis, but now Kelly with the disc. But more female handlers starting off this point. And perhaps a miscommunication. Has Spragg kept that in? Yes. Okay, well done.
Yeah, it looked to me like she did have a foot in just before she caught the disc, but then she caught it while she was in the air and landed out.
Okay. So I thought it looked like you were in the air, but you obviously know more. If you think you were well grounded when you caught it, then
I feel like I did have contact with the ground, but if there was a better...
I don't think so. I'm happy if you're happy.
Staying in.
Let's go back to Kimmy.
Yep.
Okay, so there we have it. Sounds like Kim Spragg's foot was in, but was her foot down? And I think she's saying yes, and so she's going to keep that disc. Okay, Spragg to Davis. To Neil. Quite a few deep plays. Kelly is wide open. Looking for Warman. And what a grab! Wow, Warman seems to reach behind her and around her player, and that was a specky.
It really was a specky, and it looked a little bit like her legs crumbled underneath. Thought it might have been dangerous days, but she seems absolutely fine, and maybe just lost control of her legs at the excitement of such an amazing grab.
Well, she had a high degree of control for the limbs that are above the waist, shall we say, and sometimes something's got to give.
That's true.
So score at the moment 2-1, Adelaide Dragons. Nice work, Adelaide Dragons. Smiles all round. With six-a-side ultimate, all players have got to have a pretty high degree of versatility. can't have, it's not going to work well for a team if you're one-dimensional, can only do one thing, can't play defense and offense and work well in a variety of spots on field.
Not a lot of great float on that pull, and Dunmore was down and managed to take a bit of under option away from bar there. Phillips, Trenwith, got no options right now, but Andrews has turned and found a lot of ground. Up the line to Phillips. Dunmore just trailing a bit as she's trying to keep control of Phillips. Phillips looking up the line for Andrews, and that's straight in! That was a quick goal from the Flames. Very quick goal.
Yeah, they moved with purpose then. And Andrews, you know, with anyone, but particularly with someone, Andrews, speed and caliber, when they're really just charging towards the end zone, even if the defender is aware of what's going on, it's just so hard to stop.
Yeah, all up the line there. 2 apiece and everything to play for.
If by everything you mean 2 championship points, I'd agree with you wholeheartedly.
Everything you can hope for at this stage of a game in the AUL.
Yeah, I really like the vibe between the vibe in both of these teams, and you know, I think they're playing really nicely together against each other as well. There's been a couple of discussions, some picks earlier on, but everything's been resolved really quickly and well. As Warman fires one to Neil. Neil's looking long, a floaty one. Andrew Seeds missed him, but Davis, and wow, what touch on that throw!
That throw was within Davis's reach for quite a long time, and he managed to run it all the way into the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of quick points there, Huss, that was pretty quick from the Adelaide Dragons. Yeah. It's really fascinating with this set system in the AUL with the different character of each set. So in the second set between these two teams, the first point took more than 7 minutes to complete, and already, you know, we've had 8.5 minutes go by, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, things move fast in sets.
Yeah. It allows the players to, you know, whether or not it's been a good set or a bad set for you, previously just reset everything, and clear the mind, have a bit of a breather, and just like get things going in a new fashion.
Adelaide Dragons have got their 3 layout monsters in Sally Yu, Sarah Lee, and Michaela Dunmore. See if they get an opportunity to express them. As Trenwin picks up the disc and gets it centered to Bar. Phillips now sticks it up for Stoddard, but it had too little on it.
Yeah, it was
air on it.
Yeah, it was a sort of a knifing throw, and not enough loft on it for Stoddard. Adelaide, they're not going for the quick restart here. They're really walking it up, getting set. A deep setup, of course, as we've seen. Della with the disc, swings across. Robertson. They don't seem, as opposed to some other players and teams, they're not concerned if the count gets too high as it's launched. And Andrews just gets an arm in the way just in time.
Sally Hughes made a call on that play.
Oh, I've got it. I think I picked it.
I didn't see when you hit the disc because you hit my head down. But,
I'm going to play got the disc. And I made like a little bit of contact that I don't think affected the outcome. Happy to shoot.
Yeah, happy to.
So I have a 100% clear view of what came first, the hit on the disc.
I think you took the space away above her head, Rob, so she was inhibited from being able to jump because you were here.
Did you jump it?
Yeah, I went up for it and I felt my head. I mean, my hand never touched it. I just felt like my head got pushed down. So.
Okay.
You say you have 100%
I'm going to contest it.
It's contested. Sounds like it's contested. Right.
Thanks.
Send it back. Back to where you were when the pass was thrown.
Contested foul on Sally Yu. Disc goes back to Della. Everyone needs to find where they were when he stuck that one up. Often it's pretty hard to remember exactly where you were, but do your best shot at getting back.
Yeah, Sally, you had really good separation there. Andrews had come from quite a long way back to make up that ground, and that contact occurred, which is why we're back with the thrower.
Yu's got a lot of separation, so she goes again, but Della wasn't looking for it that time. Finds Lee. Lee goes to Dunmore. Doesn't have too many options coming soon, but she manages to wait and go around, but it's a little bit too much for the angle for Robertson to get.
Barter Phillips to trend with. We've seen that combination a bit, and Stoddard, so dangerous, deep and shallow. And here, going Phillips down the line. Flames are really starting to use the deep space really well. And Mangan there into the end zone. They've done that brilliantly.
And there's another one of those defensive bids from the Dragons. Sarah Lee just trying to put her influence on that throw, but doesn't pay off for her that time.
Yeah. So the Flames are really able to use that deep space very effectively, even when it's diminishing in size. So they got close to the end zone there, kept it free, and timed their attack into that space perfectly well.
That makes it 3-3, with about 8 minutes left to go in this set, the final set, the deciding set.
Set 3, 3-3.
3 points up for grabs. 3-3-3.
The Holy Trinity.
Yep. And Wise gets this going, puts a nice lot of air on that, sitting up. Davis collects. Goes wide to Woman, who returns back to Davis. Amanda Fung working hard upfield. A couple of cuts coming at the same time for the Dragons. Fung gets it, sees Warman, but also sees Kat Phillips coming in tight on her shoulder. Neil now sees Kelly again, goes around and deep, and that is a very well placed throw, ungettable by the defender Joshua DeBell.
And I really appreciate that connection there with Neil and Kelly. So Aaron Neil hails from Wellington, okay, and he didn't play the AUL last season. Michael Kelly lives in Melbourne, also didn't play last season. So I'm just wondering what previous history these two players would have had together. But just sometimes that works, doesn't it? You click, and obviously these just demonstrated by that throw, brilliant connection.
Yeah, that's it. In sport and in ultimate, you can sometimes just find those connections with people. It doesn't matter, and sometimes you play with the same people for years and never really develop a connection. They obviously just have a thing going on the frisbee field, and it's really pretty to see.
Adelaide Dragons 1 up, 4-3 as Della rips that.
Phillips lets that bounce up into her hands. Is it moving to Bar? Dignam now, not marked very closely. Stoddard lays it off to Bar. Phillips fakes away, comes back under. She's got a Dignam going deep, and she takes it, slicing it in, and it's read into her knees. Felt like she was watching that all the way in, but maybe didn't connect with her hands to close them. Mind to hands.
Yeah, that's a lost chance there. That was, brilliant throw from Phillips. Dignam had some separation there. She was wide open. And I guess that's, just sometimes happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sarah Lee walking it up. And,
she's got to face this mark of Mangan. Mangan's got one of the best marks in Australia. Applies a lot of pressure and is very active. McDonald carefully assessing his options. Dunmore laying one off for Della. Happy to keep it moving at the back, Dunmore and Della.
The pick's just occurred. We do see the Adelaide Dragons clumping a little bit sometimes on their offense. They have a vertical stack and they get deep quite quickly. When they're moving in, sometimes those players are clumping and creating a pick. But they've cleaned it up. Dunmore with a disc. All cuts in at the moment. All cuts in. Robertson. McDonald going deep, and he looks for it straight away. Roberts threatens though, and
that was a bit of a collision. McDonald doesn't look very happy on the floor there.
McDonald comes down pretty heavily. I'm not sure if that was due to the contact or just coming down hard.
Yeah, foul called. Yeah, it's fair.
Foul called. Uncontested? Okay. So Mackie gets possession in the end zone right here. You check it in and then you can walk up.
Well, Rubenberg, the game advisor there, has spelled it out pretty clearly. Uncontested foul, and not many players in front of McDonald here, but they're hustling. They're coming to Robertson. Decides to open the field out sideways. Nice swing. Sarah Lee with the disc. Oh, close to the defender, squeezing.
Nice. Adelaide Dragons now 5-3, going into the last 3 minutes of the game.
That's a critical point, isn't it, Huss?
I think so.
It seems like close to the end of the set, these points are worth double.
It does feel that way.
Even though it's not true, it's just what it feels like.
Sarah Lee's playing a great game for the Dragons here. She just looks really comfortable with everything and provides a lot of pressure on defence. One of her goals is to play for Australia one day. She's been playing 7 years. Currently plays with Zig Theory in the women's division in the Australian normal season.
Sarah Lee's also outside of Frisbee. She works as a combat systems engineer, so I'm sure she's used to looking at a lot of complicated systems, difficult situations, perhaps. I mean, I'm wildly surmising.
Clearly, a lot more simple out here on the Frisbee field for her. Phillips jogs backwards to collect that one, gets it moving with Barr. 1-2, 1-2. Now desperately trying to find Wise, but he couldn't get open, so now she eventually does find him with a big swing. Barr's gone deep. Comes back under, and there's a throw to Dickman's back of her head. Didn't see it coming, and Sarah Lee makes the intercept. Davis launches a high one and is backed up beautifully by Dunmore.
Adelaide are all coming together here. You know, they're on the same wavelength.
Neil goes a knifey over the top to Della, very nicely taken. It's like we've suddenly moved to the indoor world of Ultimate. And he goes for a push pass back to Neil to get the goal. It's 6-3 now to the Dragons.
Wow. It was, I'm not going to say unusual, it was slightly less commonly used throw time.
Yep.
With the Adelaide Dragons near the end zone there.
Yep, displaying that this very mild breeze is not providing much of a distraction for the Adelaide Dragons. We're into the very last minute of the game, of the set, sorry, and yep, I think that we've got a set winner and a match winner on our hands.
Yes, I mean, I would encourage you not to be too premature about things, but I think you're right, Huss, in this case. 3 points difference with, 20 seconds, 15, 10 perhaps by the time the pool comes up. Adelaide Dragons, really good job, and surely they're thinking we can just enjoy the rest of this match, rest of this set and rest of this match. I think that was the hooter.
Will the pool go up? Yes, the pool go up, they'll finish. No, the pool won't go up. Or maybe it's an offside.
Yep, there we go. Time caps occurred.
That's the win. Yeah. That's the 3 championship points for the Adelaide Dragons. What a great match overall. It was tightly contested, all 3 sets, but the Dragons got their nose out in front in the first set. They got beaten in the second set, but then they pulled it together and convincingly won that last set.
Dragons are wrapped. You can see that they've just run over and got together as a team before slapping hands with the opposition. They are delighted with that. They played so well. We've been Claire Hussey and Joy Lee. Hope you've enjoyed this matchup, and congratulations to the Adelaide Dragons in this case.